September 14th, 1984. Early evening. Something Sweet Candy Store, Passyunk Avenue, South Philadelphia. Salvatore Testa walked through the door expecting a routine meeting. His best friend, Joe Pungitore, had called him. Just business, Joey said. Nothing unusual. Testa was cautious by nature. At 28 years old, he'd already survived multiple assassination attempts. He'd killed at least 15 men himself. He knew every trick in the book. When greeting fellow mobsters, he'd pull them close with his right hand, while patting them down with his left, checking for weapons. He trusted nobody completely. But Joe Pungitore was different. Joey was his childhood friend. They'd grown up together in Girard Estates. Their families lived blocks apart. Joey was closer than a brother. So when Testa walked into that back room, he let his guard down. Just for a moment. That's all it took. Salvatore Wayne Grande stepped from the shadows and fired multiple shots at point-blank range. Testa collapsed. They wrapped his body in a rug, drove it across the bridge to Gloucester Township, New Jersey, and dumped it on a dirt road like garbage. The crowned prince of the Philadelphia mob was dead. Not because he'd stolen, not because he'd snitched, not because he'd challenged his boss. Salvatore Testa died because 6 months earlier he'd called off his engagement to Maria Merlino, daughter of underboss Salvatore Chucky Merlino. In the mafia, marriage isn't about love, it's about power, loyalty, and public respect. And when Salvi Testa said no to that wedding, he signed his own death warrant. This is the story of how one rejected engagement destroyed a rising star in the Philadelphia mafia. How ego, humiliation, and mob politics turned a broken promise into a murder contract. And how the same organization Testa had served with absolute loyalty decided his refusal to marry was a crime punishable by death. But here's what you need to understand from the beginning. This wasn't a love story gone wrong. This was a political alliance that collapsed. And in the mafia, failed alliances have consequences. Salvatore Testa was born March 31st, 1956, in southwest Philadelphia. His father was Philip "Chicken Man" Testa, a made member of the Bruno crime family who earned his nickname from a poultry business. His mother was Alfia Archidiacono, whose family owned a farm in Salem County, New Jersey. Salvi grew up in the Girard Estates neighborhood of South Philadelphia, a tight-knit community of stone houses with porches. The Testa home sat at 2117 West Porter Street, directly across from Stephen Girard Park. It was a nice neighborhood, working class, respectable, the kind of place where everyone knew everyone. In 1974, Testa graduated from St. John Neumann High School. He attended Temple University for a year before dropping out to enter the real estate business. But everyone knew where he was really headed. His father was rising through the family ranks. The life was calling. On March 21st, 1980, everything changed. Angelo Bruno, the gentle Don, who'd ruled Philadelphia for 21 years, was shot through the head outside his home. The murder triggered a violent power struggle. Phil Testa, Salvi's father, became the new boss. For exactly 1 year, Phil Testa tried to stabilize the family. He promoted Nicodemo, Little Nicky Scarfo, who controlled Atlantic City operations, as his consigliere. He appointed Peter Casella as underboss. He attempted to restore order after Bruno's murder. But on March 15th, 1981, Phil Testa returned home after dinner. As he unlocked his front door at 2117 West Porter Street, a nail bomb hidden under the porch exploded. The blast was massive. Nails and shrapnel tore through his body. He died instantly, steps from his own front door, in the neighborhood where he'd raised his family. Salvi was 25 years old. His father had been boss for exactly 1 year. Now he was gone, murdered by his own underboss, Peter Casella, and capo Frank Narducci Sr. in a power grab. Nicodemo Scarfo seized control. He ordered Narducci gunned down. He banished Casella, who fled to Florida, and he promoted Salvatore Merlino to underboss. The blood was just beginning. Salvi Testa had a decision to make. Walk away from the life that had killed his father, or stay and seek revenge. He chose revenge. In June 1980, Salvi Testa was formally inducted as a made member of the Philadelphia family. The ceremony was conducted by his late father's loyalists. He took the oath, knowing exactly what it meant. Once you're in for life.